catching up with Kate and her 8 kind of series. So if you were a fan of Kate plus 8, take a look for the new TLC documentary coming out soon. The new season of Dancing with the Stars started last week, and it tied for the worst premiere ever for Dancing with the Stars. So this new season not off to a very big bang. We got the new trailer for the Box Trolls, the new trailer for Maleficent, looking very, very good. This past week, instead of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel did a Assembling the Universe special, which basically took you through how they put these films together, how they did Phase 1, how Phase 2 is going up into, and then leading into Phase 3. And then at the end of the show, what was really cool was they showed some art, some production art for Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, and we got the first glimpses of what Scarlet Witch is going to look like, what Quicksilver is going to look like, and there was a very cool picture of Iron Man in his Iron Buster, Hulkbuster suit, kind of locking up with Hulk and getting in a fight. So that looked really, really cool. If you want to see all this art, it is on the Facebook page. So just head on over to facebook.com/AmIOnTheAir, and you can see all the art that was released for Avengers Age of Ultron. It was a pretty cool special, and I was glad Marvel did something like that. Ivan Reitman, who directed the first 2 Ghostbusters films, he was set to direct Ghostbusters 3. He actually just dropped out this last week. So that is unfortunate. He dropped out. He says he will stay on as a producer, but they're going to look for new directors for the film. And rumor has it that the new directors are going for are the guys that did Lego Movie and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Chris Lord and Philip something. They are an awesome duo, and if you've seen the Lego Movie, you know that those guys know how to do fun, and I think they would be an amazing set of directors to do Ghostbusters 3. At this point, though, I really hope that they don't do it as Ghostbusters 3. With Harold Ramis passing a couple weeks ago, and then now Ivan Reitman dropping out as director, I don't want them to try to continue this as another part of the series. You could still have Dan Aykroyd and, Ernie Hudson and Rick Moranis pop up in little cameos and stuff, but at this point, I'd rather that they just start it fresh and let's just do a Ghostbusters reboot set in the modern day. That would work a lot better for me. So we'll see how this plays out, but Ivan Reitman out as they seek for a new director. John Travolta and Ethan Hawke are going to star in a new Western film. Judd Apatow's Amy Schumacher comedy Trainwreck is in negotiations with 3 new people to join the cast: Vanessa Bayer, Ezra Miller, and John Cena. I'm kind of interested in this story because 1, I love Judd Apatow. 2, I love Amy Schumer. 3, I'm a big wrestling fan and I love John Cena. So I'd be kind of curious to see John get an opportunity like this to be in a big, comedy film of 2015. So very, very cool. And congratulations for John's name getting into that. A very cool article came out saying that, Marvel right now does two to 3 films a year at this point. They were talking with Kevin Feige a couple days ago, and they were saying, do you see that expanding? And he says, that's kind of the tentpole they want to run with. But he says as they move on over the next couple years and they start adding more and more characters, there's going to be a lot more films in demand. So he says they might be bumping up to 4 films a year. So I'm down. I mean, I'm down. I mean, especially when they pace them out. If you look at this year or within the last film year, you had Thor: The Dark World come out in November. Captain America the Winter Soldier comes out in April, and then Guardians of the Galaxy comes out in August. So it's not like they're trying to crowd all these Marvel films like in the summer back to back to back. You got May, June, July, August, of all Marvel films. They spread them out, and I think that trend is going to continue, and I like it. It gives us something to look forward to throughout the entire year and not just the summertime. So I'm all for Marvel bumping up to 4 films a year. I really hope that that's something that they do. Sony has introduced a new virtual reality system called Project Morpheus for the PS4. That looks pretty damn awesome. I have a PS4. I will definitely be getting this. No word on when it's going to get released, but I want a virtual reality headset for the PS4. I think that'd be pretty badass. We have the latest and the final trailer for The Amazing Spider Man 2. Um, Too much stuff. I'm looking very forward to The Amazing Spider Man 2. I think that the new trailer is amazing. But, this is like the fifth trailer for The Amazing Spider Man. And just to give you an idea, this movie comes out like 2 weeks before X Men Days of Future Past. And we literally just got the second and final trailer for X Men today, and Spider-Man last week was on its fifth and final trailer. So it's a little overboard for Spider-Man. I feel like between all the trailers, I've seen a lot of the big crucial points, and I don't like when the trailers do that. So, Spidey needed to pump the brakes a little bit, but the new trailer is pretty awesome, and it's available on amiontheair.com. Click on the trailers tab and see it there. See it on our YouTube page because Sony was nice enough to not block us, and you can always see it on our Twitter and Facebook. FX has ordered a new Billy Crystal series. It's called The Comedians. They ordered it straight to series. I think they're going to do about 12 episodes of that. Seth Rogen, Anna Kendrick, and Pharrell are set for SNL, so that's pretty cool. I like that lineup there. Seth Rogen and Anna Kendrick will both be pretty cool for SNL, especially Seth Rogen, man. I can't wait to see that. Nikita's Maggie Q. I love me some Maggie Q. Maggie Q is going to be one of the head stars of Kevin Williamson's new CBS drama, so that's really cool. Divergent director Neil Berger finally came out and explained why he wasn't going to return for the sequel. He says that there was some trouble making the film, but really overall what it came down to was just not having the right amount of time to prepare and prep for the second film because they want the film to be out like next year. And he basically just wrapped finishing doing everything for the first movie, and he said it was just something that was just not he just couldn't deal with that kind of pressure and trying to put something together that quickly, so he stepped aside. And what happens? The same thing happened with the Hunger Games franchise, so it's very hard to expect a director to finish one movie and jump right into pre-production on the next, so definitely understand that. We reported last week that Rooney Mara is that she was going to be Tiger Lily in the new Peter Pan movie, Pan. Now, thousands of people are protesting this and saying, get her out. And this was something I was curious about because the same thing kind of happened when Johnny Depp played Tonto in The Lone Ranger. And it's happening again. Rooney Mara is not Native American, and people, the Native Americans especially, are pissed that they got her to play this Native American girl. So I don't know if the studio is going to change their mind, but it was news enough to let you know that people are protesting the hell out of this. Frozen came out on DVD and Blu-ray last week, and it sold a massive 3.2 million Blu-ray and DVD units in its first day of sales. Wow. I can't believe how big Frozen is doing. It is mind-blowing. Article up for the stars of Sleepy Hollow talking about season 2 and what you can expect there. NBC has renewed Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Grimm. So that's a good amount of renewals there. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more renewals and cancellations over the next couple weeks as the seasons are starting to wrap up. A lot of season finales coming over the next couple weeks. We got the first official teaser trailer for the new Step Up movie. I think this is part 5 if you look into the series. It's called Step Up All In, and you can see the teaser trailer on our Facebook and Twitter page. We also have an Everything Wrong with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Doug Liman is set to direct the Splinter Cell movie, and it's going to star Tom Hardy. I like this news a lot. Splinter Cell is a very cool video game, and a game that you can definitely see translated to the big screen, and I think Tom Hardy is an excellent fit to lead this movie, and I think Doug Liman is actually a really good fit to direct this, so I love it. It's a great pairing, and I can't wait to see this Splinter Cell movie. NBC has officially confirmed that Parks and Recreation will return for a season 7, so I know a lot of people are going to be stoked on that. Disney is going to re-release the event. I'm sorry, not re-release. They're going to release the Avengers: Age of Ultron, Star Wars Episode 7 in IMAX. Disney's contract was running out with IMAX. I guess they got to sign a deal with IMAX to do movies for so many years and a certain amount of films. They've renewed their deal with IMAX, and they have locked in that they will do Avengers: Age of Ultron and Star Wars Episode 7 in IMAX, which is awesome because that will probably be the only way to see those two films. Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Those are the directors' names. I'm so sorry I got that mixed up before. They're the guys that did the Lego movie, and they're in negotiations to take over the Ghostbusters reboot. Once again, I think this is an excellent fit, and I really hope that they get locked in for this. This has been some news. I've actually talked about this to some friends over the last week. A lot of people have been asking me, what is up with Pacific Rim 2? What's going on? Is it going to happen? Well, nothing is confirmed, and nothing is, greenlit by the studio by any means. But Legendary Pictures has scheduled a sit-down meeting with Guillermo del Toro to discuss Pacific Rim 2. So it is on the books. They're going to discuss it. The studio feels that the movie made enough money. The first one made enough money to discuss a sequel. And I know a lot of people are clamoring for a sequel to Pacific Rim 2. And it looks like it could be coming, but it's going to depend on how this discussion goes. I think the biggest thing to come out of this discussion, and what I'm afraid of if it doesn't happen, is, the first movie cost about $200 million to make. And it did turn a little bit of a profit, but it was hard. It was a stretch, and it took all the foreign market to do it. I don't know if the studio is going to be as willing to give Guillermo another $200 million to make part 2. I think they might try to pull his budget down and say, we'll do it for $150, let's say. And Guillermo del Toro is the type of filmmaker that if he doesn't feel his vision will be, brought to life by a $150 million budget, he's going to probably just say no. He's going to say, never mind, I don't want to do it then. And he'll probably play some hardball and see if he can get the budget that he wants out of it. But, knowing him, he probably wants more of a budget. He probably wants $250 of a budget, and the studio's probably going to say, well, we'll give you $150, and they're going to have to try to negotiate something. So it's going to be interesting to see how these talks go and what comes out of it. I hope that they can play nice and they can do something to make a second movie, because I know a lot of people want it, and I would love to see it myself. But, so it's not off the books, but we'll see how the meeting goes, but it's definitely happening, at least a meeting. So I'll keep you updated on that. So if you noticed our title of tonight's show, it's called Truly Outrageous, and this next story is pretty damn outrageous. John M. Chu, who directed G.I. Joe Retaliation, is set to direct a Gem and the Holograms movie. Oh, John Chu. Where do I begin? Gem and the Holograms. Wow. I know John Chu loves the 80s stuff. He made G.I. Joe. At one point, he was going to do the He-Man movie. And now he's doing Gem. I don't get it, though. Gem? Gem is getting the priority from the studio. My biggest question mark on this news is the fact that, when he was set to direct the new He-Man movie, the new Masters of the Universe, he had to drop out. And when he dropped out, he said, I need to focus on G.I. Joe 3, and I just don't have the time right now to do He-Man. So he dropped out. And it was like, okay, I get that, I understand. I'm dying to see G.I. Joe 3. So I'm like, cool, man, let's move on. Let's do G.I. Joe 3. And now he has time to do Gem? What the fuck? I'm like, how do you get time to do Gem, but you couldn't do He-Man? It's just something that I don't get, and I really don't understand whatsoever. So, we're getting a Gem movie, and then somebody asked him a couple days ago, well, what's up with G.I. Joe 3? And he said, we're still working on it, the script's coming along really nicely, but I need it to be perfect. I want the script to be perfect before we make it. And since the script's not perfect and we're still tweaking